Marketer, which of these headlines will produce the highest conversion? There are 10. I'm going to read them quickly. Set up your free account today and start earning money. Get paid to take free surveys. Take online surveys from home and win cash and prizes. Get paid to fill out online surveys. Surveys, quick, easy, and free. Join the company name, community, and have your opinions count. Win cash and prizes for your online surveys. Get rewarded for your opinion. You're invited to join, company name again, community, and to earn rewards for your opinions. Finally, here's your first survey and an invitation to join our research community. My opening case study is intense. It's easier to see in a larger device, but bear with me, concentrate, and you'll find it worth your attention. By the way, I've presented this before, but never with the additional experiment I'm going to explain today. Look again at these 10 headlines. Feel free to stop the recording and take your time. We conducted a single factorial experiment to determine with live traffic the actual performance of each. However, this is where it gets interesting. We also ran each treatment through an online analyzer that promises to score for effectiveness. The point was to compare the two. There were no other changes to the landing page other than the headline. We chose the analyzer that was ranked number 1 by reviewers. It used a lot of impressive terminology, multivariate linguistic algorithms, behavior model theory, EEG data, natural language processing, etc. So what happened? Well, here's how the analyzer ranked this creative. You can see the actual score to the left. I won't read the headlines again, but look at them and see what we discovered in that tool. Now, is it reliable? How well would these headlines perform if they were tested in a live environment? Well, with our experiment, we discovered the answer. Here it is. Look carefully. Something should start to trouble you. Actually, the results are shocking. 3 observations are in order. The real winner of the experiment is ranked by the analyzer in 9th place. The number 3 winner of the experiment is ranked by the analyzer in 10th. That's last place. In fact, of the 10 headlines scored by the analyzer, only 1 was put into the right order. Number 5. Marketer, there was no correlation between the so-called scores and the actual performance of the headline. This points to a problem. Marketer, leaders spend too much time trying to see with new tools into the mind of the customer, when they should spend more time trying to see with new eyes through the mind of the customer. We have a problem. How can we learn to see our headlines through customer eyes? Well, we need a step-by-step method. This is a fast class, 40 minutes of content in less than 10 minutes. In the last 2 sessions, we taught you 6 principles. In this session, we're going to improve a working headline submitted by a student. There are 3 steps, and here's the first. Number 1, diagram your grammar. In session 6, we helped a student, her name was Ilya, rethink the psychological architecture of her website. Ilya has been improving her website ever since. She has much more work to do, but she is learning. One day, I hope she can match the quality of her website design with the quality of her kitchen design, but she's on the way. Here is her latest headline. Now, in fairness to Ilya, this was written before I taught these last few sessions. Luxury German kitchens designed for a lifetime of memories. How would you improve that? Well, as we said, begin by diagramming. Let's mark the verbs. Wait a second, there is none. Let's mark the subject. Wait a second, again, there is none. Then the modifiers. Okay, luxury, German, designed for a lifetime of memories. That prepositional phrase and so on modifies the noun. Now that we've done that, we can start to ask some tougher questions. How would it compare with the competitors? That brings us to the second point. Compare your version with your competitors. Now, I had a hard time working through the search engine to find a competitor that had a headline even valuable enough to put on the screen here. The best I could do, working with the front page of Google, was this: our exquisite bespoke kitchens. There's one. Here's another. Introducing the new global luxury campaign, Goldwood. Whatever that means. Now, normally, I would take those headlines, put them in a spreadsheet word for word, and compare the subject and the object. And I would compare the modifiers. I would compare the verbs. But you can hardly do it with these headlines. Neither one of them is taking the form that is of much use to the marketer or the entrepreneur. And in fact, I would say Ilya's is just as good as theirs. But you have to remember something. Headlines have a process level value proposition. You've got to work thinking about the other headlines your prospective customers may be reading. You cannot think. You cannot craft in a vacuum. I'll be teaching about process level value propositions later in the course. For now, we're going to move to the third and most important point. This is the next step. Optimize your version. Now, how do we do that? Well, let's hearken back to the 6 key principles that we've already taught. We're going to look at those principles, but apply them in this particular context. So the first 2 say this: pull the customer forward with a subject-predicate structure and use the grammatical subject to prioritize the customer's interests. So let's work on that. Let's make a headline that makes the customer the subject. We'll do an understood subject. We taught about those 2 sessions ago. So it is you that's understood. Get or customize. And now we have to be very careful, because as we do this, we want to enforce the 4 words to value rule. We need to get them to value fast. So we could say get or customize your, then a critical modifier or 2, and then kitchen. As we do that, we're accomplishing another critical piece. We're positioning the customer's gain as the direct object of the sentence. And in doing that, we've chosen to structure a receive predicate. I've said you can use receive or become predicates. We taught this in a past session. In this case, we're going to use a receive predicate. And finally, we need to select modifiers to amplify the impact of our message. Now, I'm going to use what's called a value-based approach, which is powerful. Value propositions can be used especially well on a home page to get people to engage with the content below. So we're going to think about this. And essentially, I want to load the front of the headline with appeal and then pack the back half of the headline with exclusivity, with distinctives. So we're going to say something like get or customize your, and then we'll add key modifiers there. You're going to help me figure out what those should be. And then the object kitchen. But we don't stop there. We're going to use another modifier, a prepositional phrase, and we're going to tie it to distinctives. So we might tie it to this. Get your X, whatever we're going to say for modifier, kitchen. Buy from, who, or with. Let's say by the craftsman, and we can now focus on some critical elements we found in the page. Let's start with experience. By the craftsman who has been building German kitchens since 1945, or designing German kitchens since 1945. I only want to get you the idea right now. We could move to price instead of experience. We could say, and again, I found this later on the webpage, starting at 15,000 pounds or from 15,000 pounds. Again, we're determining how to structure the prepositional phrase to give you a strong enough distinctive to get you to engage in the content below. Or how about we emphasize reviews? By the craftsmen who've won 42 5-star reviews. Or how about awards? The winner of the Best House Award for 7 years in a row. In taking this approach, we're not only developing a headline, but we're generating ideas for testing later. Which one of these predications with these prepositions will produce the greatest attention and the greatest engagement? Let me put it all together, and let's try to build a simple base model for the headline. Here we go. Customize your luxury kitchens with the German craftsman who won the Best of House Awards for 7 years in a row. Now, is that best? No. Do not settle for the headline I just wrote as it is. I'm just beginning to massage the concepts. It needs more thought. I'm only suggesting a model to stimulate your thinking. In fact, in the last FAST class, the community who participates in these classes generated many powerful suggestions, and so I'm going to ask you to help us now. Help Ilya. Indeed. I'm going to ask our audience to apply these concepts so that they can learn them more deeply while at the same time helping Ilya. Take a few moments to write your very best headline for her website and then post your version in the YouTube comments below. The goal here is not to simply participate in an exercise, but to help a colleague. I will try to respond to every submission that comes in within the next 7 days. We'll learn together, and we'll help a friend. And that's what we're here for. Indeed, in the next fast class, I'm going to show you how to take the headline, combine it with a subheadline for maximum impact. And in the meantime, I want to thank you for your time and for engaging with us in the comments and for putting up with me over and over again as I try to struggle my way forward, understanding, learning, and teaching.